Welcome to the stage, NFSB Mail Support Advisor, Alan White.
How were we all feeling after last night? I was fine until I had that last 5 or 6 pints. But that's what drinking with the North East and Scotland does for you. Keep away from them boys. That's what I'll be doing next year. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of interactive. We've got a Slido QR code we're going to show. If you can scan that, I'll be asking questions and then you can give me your answers, if that's okay. And Paramail, I'm going to go through mail segregation, give you an update of what happened last year. Then we're going to discuss PUDO remuneration across all the different mail carriers. And Paramail is going to give you a bit of advice on keeping your PUDO inventories up to date. So we'll make a start. So as you know, for the first time ever, the branches supported by the NFSP hit all 3 targets. And what you can see, the middle line is the whole of agency. So this includes the branches that we don't support, but Post Office do. We finished on 95.4 for the letter bag. So I feel, and we all feel, we should have got paid for the whole 3 bags plus the £1 million bonus for hitting all targets. Because whole of agency finished just below it. Period 12 and period 11 were quite low, and that pulled us down for the whole year. Really disappointing that the Post Office have not paid us out for the full bags. Now, yesterday we had the Post Andy Nice and Neil Brocklehurst, and lovely words, how it's a new relationship and we're going to set everything and things are going to be different. Today we've got more heavy hitters. We've got Neil O'Sullivan, the Mails Director, hi Neil, and we've got Nigel Railton, the Post Office Chairman, and Gareth Thomas coming, the Post Office Minister. Now, I'm sure we're going to hear lovely words again about the new relationship, and let's remind them they have an opportunity to demonstrate how things are changing and make a commitment to honouring the mail seg incentive payment, including the bonus, and give it to us in full. So that's just over £2 million, I feel they owe us, our members who have worked hard to get these great figures. Okay, so if you can scan this QR code for me.
If someone's struggling to scan, my colleagues are on the floor, they can help, they go a printed copy.
If you can't scan it, we have got paper copies. My colleagues are walking up and down the side if you need a paper copy. We all done? What's that? No.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Not yet.
Oh, no, sorry. If you get a screen that says no active poll, that's fine. You're on the right screen.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah.
If there's no active poll yet, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. Okay, we all okay with that? Right, first question. You got it, Sarge? Sarge, have you got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So which mail carrier services do you offer at your branch? And please select all that apply. Yeah, no.
It's fine.
Yeah, just select Royal Mail and Parcel Force.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, okay. VJ, give them the hard copy. Right, okay. Well, that's a relief. 100% are doing Royal Mail and Parcel Force. So we've got 88% on Amazon, Evri DPD, 70%. That's quite high. That's quite high, isn't it? So
Yeah.
that's good. So next question. How many buy and branch Evri sales do you complete for the Evri branches? So the 70% of you that do Evri, how many buy and branch do you think you're doing on an average week? And sorry, I've done it too quick, haven't I? So just vote how many you're doing. There was supposed to be countdown music,
Yeah.
but it's not happening. So we've got everyone voted. We all okay?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so we're all aware your target is 35 sales a week, and I know this is difficult. It's not easy, but the less than 10 and 10 to 20, you are at risk of losing your services, and you have to try and get these sales in. Every year doing this as an ongoing exercise. Every quarter, they'll be writing to branches that are not achieving target. And at the end of a monitoring period, if you're not hitting target, they will remove you. They've removed quite a few hundred already. And let me just show you. So if you compare Evri to Royal Mail, track 48 against every standard, you are taking a 15p hit per transaction, and it's more if you go for every next day against track 24, you're taking a 23p hit. But you've got to, as a business, you've got to make a decision. If you're doing 200 to 300 every Pudo a week, that's 60 to 90 pound. Is it worth taking the hit on 35, 15p's to safeguard the 60 to 90 pound you're earning? That's a decision, a business decision for you to make. Is there any questions on this so far?
Yep.
Go on, Alan.
Yeah.
Just wait, we'll get a mic to you.
Yep.
Right. We'll just get your mic so everyone
Mic,
can
please.
hear. So, Alan Green first, please, Wally.
So Alan, it's Alan Green from Midlands region. I went to the post office stand yesterday,
Yeah.
and straight away they said, are you doing track 2448? And I said, not at all. I'm selling every DPD because I'm looking after myself. And really, they took offence by that. Post office really need to understand where we are as a business. Not as their business, as our business. Because it makes sense to actually sell the Evri. We don't want to be having Evri in the branch and then it's going again, do we?
No. And with all these different mail carriers and all these different targets, DPD haven't set any targets yet, but we don't know that's always going to stay the same. But it's really easy to lose sight of who's the most important person in this whole scenario. It's the person on the other side of the counter. And I take your point. This is. Can we give the mic to this chap, please?
Just quickly, Alan,
Yes.
Sorry.
before I go. I've been out to 20 offices in the last 2 weeks with regards to selling DPD for peer support, yeah?
Right.
And to be honest with you, offices don't understand the consequences to this. That's that. And,
When you say
with regards to, I'll start selling DPD now. Now I realise that I'm earning more money.
There's a definite lack of knowledge with regards to remuneration across the sub-postmaster network. It does seem to me unnecessarily complicated, and there are definite gaps in all of us where you're getting paid. And I'm hoping when I go through the presentation, you'll see what I've got. It may help. We got some handouts as well, just based on mail carriers' remuneration, and the cost to customers, but I'll come to that in a sec. Thank you, Alan.
Yeah.
Hello.
It's Naim from Midland region. Our concern is every delivery service. Delivery service.
Right.
The people who use this service, their parcel didn't get on time. Plus the customer service, they can't ring. It's everything that they have to do online, so they're not happy with their service. When we told if you don't meet the target, the service will be taken away. But I think same time, the post office or area manager, they need to feed back. There is a concern about the delivery service. They have to improve.
Yeah.
Plus, we have to put more time. We have to put more details when we're doing every parcel comparing with the Royal Mail.
Right. So the sub-postmasters I've spoken to have been really successful with Evri, don't even notice the extra time on the horizon. Now, once you get into the swing of it, you're hardly looking at it. The extra time is minimum. They don't even notice it. The delivery standards... Is it? Okay. Right. Let's get.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's get a mic to you,
Yeah.
and you can make your point. But is there every postmaster who's meeting their targets and who's comfortable with the Horizon journey? You don't notice the difference. Would you just raise your hands, please?
Okay.
Yeah, no, I accept it takes longer, but my point is you don't really notice it once you get into the swing of it and you're noticing it. So,
Can I come on that
yeah,
point?
of course you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a working postmaster as well, while I'm working in mail support teams. And I go for different post office and 2 models, mains and local. And all the branches doing every DPD. And I know that is time consuming, but we have to think outside the box. Before we have Royal Mail and only parcel force services, and that we are asking for more money. Now on the platform we have different carriers, so we have a choice to give our customers, and we have to match the need, what the benefit for customers. If someone sending just used clothes or something like that, and is value less than £10 or something like that, and then you can offer them a special delivery. The customers will might be not happy, but if it's every next day service available, cheaper for them up to 2 kilograms, why we can't offer? It is not next day, we can say that. It's not guaranteed service, but there's still opportunity available. We can offer DPD 2 days service, DPD next day service. So there is some platforms available. Either we make a complaint and say, okay, it's not hitting the target. Once we go furthermore, when Alan will explain, there is an opportunity where we can grab these 35 cells as well. And it's changing. We are expecting to get a DHL on the board, and when the DHL coming, they're asking more information. In future, if we want UPS, they ask more information as well. So we have to be prepared for these things. Okay. Okay.
Hold on, can we get your mic so everyone can hear?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, that wasn't. In all due respect to yourself, that wasn't what you said. You said that nobody hardly notices it.
No,
that's what you said.
No, what I said was
with us. Just
no, with all due respect, let me just make what I said was sub-postmasters who are successful in doing lots of sales hardly notice the extra time it takes.
Well, I would consider us to be successful. And listen, we're not knocking the fact that we don't want Evri, because Evri has actually made a difference to our business.
Yeah.
But the statement, and this is where we get into trouble, when you think that the remuneration part of it is because we don't notice it. That is incorrect. We do notice it, and it does take a hell of a long time to process a sale on Evri. It does.
But that's not what these sub-postmasters over here say.
Well, the majority of people in here didn't put their hands up. A minority of people put their hands up.
Right. So how many sales are you doing a week, if you don't mind me asking?
35?
35.
35
so
sales.
Are you saying that the Horizon journey then is still a barrier to you selling
Well, the main barrier to us is not the Horizon journey, it's the customers who use the Evri and then refuse to use the Evri again.
Right,
And,
okay.
and the
Right,
service, and the service.
Right, so...
Because we can take in a roughly 100, 150 per day, and
Right.
when a driver doesn't turn up for 2 days on the trot and you've got next day delivery, those customers go back. So to say we're going to be penalised because we're not doing the sales, it's very difficult when we've got a regular customer who uses Evri, we've convinced them to use Evri, and as the gentleman said earlier, you can't get through to customer service. The compensation, they do pay out eventually, but it's a hell of a journey.
I know,
The customers walk through it. What do we say to our customers when they say, we don't want to use Evri, sorry, we want to use Royal Mail?
Right, of course, we all know there are definite challenges with getting hold of Evri when you've got a problem. But if Evri failed to turn up, do you report it? Yeah. No, but what I'm here to... So the first port of call, if you've got Evri not turning up, if Evri are due in your branch, say 2 to half 2, if they're not in by 3 o'clock, your first port of call is call Evri and say there's no collection. If they don't turn up by the end of the day, you must then call BSC, so the post office are aware.
Well, they're short, but more importantly, the only way I get anything done with Evri is I ring Mitchell up, and he actually sorts it out for us.
Yeah.
Because we do ring Evri, and they don't come. And sometimes we've had it with 3... I could show you pictures of literally 300-400 parcels.
I've seen them, I get sent them as well.
And the drivers don't come, and it's a knock-on effect because the driver goes past because he doesn't want to pick our parcels up because he knows we've got 400.
And do you then... Sorry, do you then tell BSC this as well? Do you phone BSC and let them know?
As I've explained, we ring Mitchell and he sorts it for us because that's the only avenue that we've got.
But I think the process is to call BSC as well to let them know.
Well, we don't. Why? Because they're not open. They close at 6. And we close at 6, so they're not open, and they don't do anything about it anyway. The only person that's ever got results from us is Mitchell. I'm sorry, I think he's in the room somewhere.
Yeah, he's sat here in front of me.
Well, it's probably embarrassing. I don't want to turn around and look at
He's sat here in front of me.
But, you know, congratulations to him because he can sort it out. I've got a direct route to him, but not everybody else.
No, of course not. But the process is Evri, and then if they don't turn up,
we can do the
it's
process.
BSC.
That doesn't solve the problem. That doesn't solve the problem with the customers walking through the door. You want us to do 35 sales.
I understand
Okay,
that.
if you were a customer and you were sending 20 parcels a day with Royal Mail, and I convince you to use the Evri service, and when you come in the next day you say, well, actually, they've not arrived. Well, I'm sorry, they haven't collected the parcels yet.
I know.
And you come in the following day and say, I don't want to use Evri. How can I possibly convert 35 sales?
Okay.
I accept that completely. Go on.
Sorry, so we got some more slides coming, how to hit these 35 sales. So just bear with us, and we'll show you them.
Parimal, you are going on a wrong way.
I know. I understand if...
See, we want to sell it.
Okay, we got your points. If it's the service, I understand the service is not happy your customers, okay? But that's the point what Alan and we are trying to make today, that there is an opportunity for you.
See, we don't want, we want an opportunity. You know, the last bank holiday, I had the 7 bags full in my post office. When I rang to the Evri and I said to them, can you just collect as soon as possible, because it was Tuesday morning. They collect on Friday 12 o'clock, then after they didn't come until the Wednesday morning. And then when I rang to the Evri, they said, oh, our driver doesn't start until 2 o'clock. We don't do any collection until before 2 o'clock. What you are going to do? If your post office, if you don't have the space to walk into the post office, what you could do?
Okay.
Okay. Can I just say, this is really important feedback. We've got Neil O'Sullivan in the room. He's the Mail's marketing director.
Then I have to ring to the
he'll come back.
We're going to let Neil O'Sullivan respond to this, but it's really important that he hears this.
Yeah.
These are the issues.
No, I understand.
We're not doing that.
We are not... Okay. We are not here... You in the room, there are so many experienced people more than me, so I am just baby on the stage. But I'm saying like that, there is opportunities there. I'm not here, we are not here to train how to do it, because you know your business better than anybody else. Even not the post office know, not him know, no, I know. You know your business well. So we are not here to teach you how to do the business, but we just show you where is the opportunity available. Thank you.
Right,
Okay,
well,
sorry.
let Neil O'Sullivan respond. Thanks, Neil.
So, thank you. Good morning, everybody. I heard a lot of this over the last week and a lot last night when around my table. I think first of all, I hear you. It's if the customers, if Evri aren't picking up the parcels and they're not doing the next day delivery, of course, I can completely understand why that's going to be difficult, if not impossible, to resell the service to that customer. So for me, it is, and as Mitchell knows, and as the team know, it's the single thing that we're going to be concentrating on with Evri, are concentrating on with Evri, is to understand why and how to fix this problem, because it's clear there seems to be a problem. The stats don't say that, and so there's something really wrong here. Their stats and our stats on collection performance are above the SLA generally, above 97%. So there's definitely something amiss here. They do an independent view of what their collection performances are. We do one. And so even if you're not reporting it, is the point I'm making, we could still see what the performance is. So there's something wrong. I accept there's something wrong, and we're going to fix it. Because if we don't do, if I come from a background with DHL, and the first principle of any courier company is that you get your collection right. If you don't get your collection right, you don't get to deliver it. You don't get a second chance to sell the service. So for me, it's that critical. And I know that the Evri senior management team will take this on board and really react to it. And I give you my assurance that that's what I'm focusing on. And I will take this up with them, because there is something wrong here if that is happening regularly. And I'll fix it.
Yeah, go on, Chris.
Morning, Alan.
Hi.
Chris from the North East.
Alan, just to answer some of what the gentleman just said, what we need is scheduled pickups. Royal Mail have scheduled pickups with us. We know when they're going to turn up. We know when they're going to collect. And if there's an issue, we can forward that on to Royal Mail. Evri and DPD are too hit and miss. You know, there's no reason why they can't have a barcode like Royal Mail in branch and scan it so their people know that they've collected. It's a simple system. It's not difficult. It's not, it's not rocket science. I've got an area manager coming in asking me why we're not selling DPD. I said, well, if you got your drivers to come in and pick up, it would make life easier. We have 4 or 5 drop-offs with DPD every day. None of them will collect. They say, oh, no, it's the next driver. No, it's the next driver. Well, who the hell's picking it up? How the hell am I going to sell something to a customer when there's no guarantee it's going to be leaving my office?
And
it's a simple system. Just put something in place so we know, their head office know that they're actually collecting. And then we might be able to sell a product like Royal Mail. It's as simple as that.
And is that still the situation today with DPD?
Mitchell want to come on that point?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Mitchell will answer your question. Yeah.
Hi everyone. A lot of you have spoken to me this weekend already. So DPD, we're launching a trial next week to barcode branches. So the first trial happens in Portsmouth to 94 branches. So they're bringing in barcodes to monitor their driver performance. DPD have been really honest with us. They want to support the network, and they realise the only way that we're going to sell their product is if they get the trust from you guys. So they're making heavy investment into their network, making sure their drivers meet their SLAs and collection performance. The barcodes that you were talking about, DPD are bringing in as a trial. That'll be rolled out nationally on the success, as long as we see the collection performance improve in that area, which is great news where we're working with. Going back to Evri about what we were talking about a second ago, we had a working group in Chesterfield on the 7th of this month with quite a few of you in the room. There's been 75 actions on the back of it, mainly around customer service, collection performance and their operations. That's going through to the Evri board this week and internally with our team, and it'll be rolled out. Paramount was in the room as well. So hopefully you'll be able to give an update to your members later on in the next couple of weeks to show you what we're doing and how invested Evri is in improving the customer journey from a post office point of view. Yeah.
Thank you.
So Chris from North East.
Thank you. I think what I'd like to say is, overall, we can all talk about failures, we can all talk about how it affects us individually. There's 4 things on there alone. This is a complicated scenario that's been forced on us. Everybody wants multi-carrier, but there's so many individual elements that create customer service issues. And for me, it's fundamental that Post Office haven't got a clue what's going on in our branches. Post Office Limited don't get it. And I'm sorry, doing a trial on a barcode on DPD, really? Barcode trials in this day and age? We don't need to trial it. Put it in the branch, and if they don't scan it, penalise them. Make us feel like you're fighting for us. That's Post Office and NFSP, I hasten to add. It's absolutely disgraceful that the technology rollouts are slow. The whole Evri operational rollout is an absolute sham, and it's still a sham. And where are we now, 2.5 years or something? I used to do 500 a week with the blue handset. I'm down to sort of 280, 300. My area manager that's related to Evri says they won't take Pudo away because they're making money on you. And I do 10 and less a week. And we do try and sell it. And when I look at all my mails, and when the people say, choose your second class, choose those as your target customers, that's a similar price, that's a this, that's the other. You're talking to somebody for 5 minutes. It's gone. They don't hear it. You can't go every 24, every standard 48. What did you say? I've heard you do DPD. Oh, I'll talk to you about that as well. It's not relevant to your parcel. You can't give these people the information in the time that you've got before you get to your next customer, etc., etc., etc. There's a fundamental misunderstanding with the people running in this business that we're not getting the support. You cannot give us a service that's so poor. It's the best thing that Post Office ever did was go multi-carry and pull Evri in, and they've ruined it. Absolutely ruined it with the operational support and everything.
Okay. Thanks, Chris.
Morning. This is Suraj from Marple, Northwest Region. Thank you, Alan.
Morning.
I think we are all doing a sincere effort over here to make things work. And Evri is one example over here. As Parimal rightly said, that there are opportunities here which the Postmasters can look into. Well, I'd like to highlight that Evri's got an opportunity here as well. But I think they cease to understand the importance of it. 20 years ago, the same thing happened with the mobile phones. And Nokia thought that they're invincible. And now, do you find a Nokia phone? It's difficult to find. I think a couple of years later, everyone finds herself anywhere as a carrier if they don't take it on board. Because you're having 400 parcels sitting in your branch, nobody's bothering to collect it. There's no point in saying next day service if the collections are not going to happen, Alan. Sorry to say that.
No, I accept that. And I had a chat with Neil O'Sullivan this morning. This is the depth of feeling I've been getting talking to sub-postmaster over these last couple of days. But they're telling me that Evri collections are running at over 97%. But that's not the feeling I'm getting in this room.
No, absolutely.
There
The
you go.
Postmasters would do.
Well,
the Postmasters would do everything to make it work, Alan.
no,
Believe
I
me.
get, yeah, absolutely, of course we
Thank
do.
you.
Yeah. Sorry, let's get a mic to you.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'll come to you. You're next. Let me, yes.
Okay.
Oh, hello, this is Paul Madden from Southeast Region. My
Hi.
question is to Neil. Neil, you just said about Evri and their performances, but if we don't have trust in, as you've heard from most of the people, how can we promote a service, and especially the services you've taken away from some of the postmasters because they weren't selling 35, and now you know what the problem is. Are you going to reinstate those services in those offices?
Okay, Vijay, 1 second.
All right.
You want to answer that? He want to answer that 1 second.
No, we've got this chat next. I'm
No.
going to say...
It's a question asked
Oh,
to Neil,
sorry.
so he's answering them, please. Yeah.
So first of all, it's Evri that take the services away, not Post Office. Yeah. So, and no, I've made that point that I completely agree. We have to fix the service that you can trust it, that the customers can trust it. I understand that. Completely agree. And if we can't sell the service because it's not working, then clearly we have to have a reset with Evri to say you can't be taking the service away if you're not supporting it. I've said that to Evri on many cases. I had a conversation with somebody last night about their branch that I would do the same for them on that case. So, but it is really important that we fix it, and I will do that. And I do agree. I think that if you look at the way that Evri is growing and the increases that they're having in their business, they're clearly doing something right. Their delivery, hang on, wait a minute. Their delivery performance is better than most of the other carriers in the industry. No, it is. It's statistically the case.
You are looking only just data. Did you order anything and you...
I am looking at data, exactly.
Yeah.
I completely understand that. I'm just trying to say that it's a service that works. It works nationally. Customers are buying it. We have to make sure that we fix the problems which are in our operation about them doing the collections. And I've given you my assurance that that's what I'm going to concentrate on and fix.
Thank you.
Right, thank you. I'm going to move on now, if you don't mind. It's 10 o'clock. You'll have an opportunity.
The driver, when I rang to the Evri, and I said to them why they didn't collect it, and I got the answer, driver reported, in Buckingham, they can't come into the Buckingham. And I said to the person, when I was speaking to them, I said, okay, I will send you the map, and did you find it out any road is closed to come to my post office? I said, I want to take the action. Again, that driver, he said, no, we can't do anything, because what our driver said to us, that's the right thing, we believe. Then they are not believing in a postmaster, they are believing in the driver. They said, my post office is never closed. Sometimes they say, okay, post office was closed. I say, you can see on my system, my post office is open, I can send you my data, what time I'm start selling, and what time I'm start closing my post office. You can see on my system.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
After finish, can you pass your details to us, and we can also put these things in the Evri team and Pudo team and raise your awareness, raise your questions.
The DPD driver, they are coming, scanning the barcode, and they are not picking up the parcel. They say, I don't have the space in my van.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, can just get the mic.
Yeah.
This is definitely the last question on this,
please,
and then we're going to move on.
Okay, I really want to come back to what the gentleman said at the front, because the gentleman asked the question is about, you now know that Evri is a hard sell. And we all like, we want Evri, to be truthful.
Yeah.
It's a big chunk of the business. It's great in some respects. But what the gentleman asked is, those people that you're taking away or being threatened to take away because they're not doing the 35 sales, you now know from this audience, the majority of people are telling you very clearly that there's a problem with the delivery, there's a problem with the collection, there's a problem with customer service, there's a problem in getting contact with people, there's an issue with drivers lying to the depot, telling them why we close, why we're not. So the question is, are you going to stop Evri, or instruct Evri, or make sure that Evri does not take the service away from people until those service issues are fixed?
Right.
Until they are fixed, Evri should suspend removing that service from everybody until they can assure you, and we can prove, and you can prove to us, that the service is accurate. Because your data, it must be incorrect, because you keep standing up there telling us that the data says 97%. So either, and the 23 customers that you spoke to, either we're lying to you, and we're telling not the truth about our service, or you believe us.
Right, now
and
listen,
that means,
I accept there's a problem.
Can you assure us that you will ask Evri to stop suspending anybody until they get their act together?
Right. Thank you, and that's a really great point. So, no, I know. I'm asking. It's Evri who are removing the service. Yeah, I'm asking Neil to stand up now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I think the short answer is that I do and I will challenge with Evri when a service is to be taken away. If it's because that there's a failure in the collection services, then I'm completely behind you on that. And I have said to them, and I will continue to say to them, you cannot remove that service from that branch on that basis. I will continue to do that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Neil.
We're going to have one final question. One final question.
Hi, Istawal from Northampton, East Anglia region. I just wanted to make the statement. The gentleman is already covered, so I don't think so I need to say much. But the whole network must not be penalized for 35 plus sales and not been threatened for the removal of the service until and unless it's been assured by the Postmasters that Evri's operational performance has been fully functional without any failure. And it has to be the whole network, not any particular single branch. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
we think it's going to hold day.
These are in branch prices that we've got up here.
Yeah.
Now, if we compare Royal Mail online to Evri in branch, you can see that the prices are pretty much together. If you look at track 24, 429 to 445. So this is the market I think we're not exploiting really, or most of us aren't exploiting as sub-postmasters. Who's telling your neighbouring businesses that you've got Evri at these prices? Who's telling them? Probably, when I started in the post office, all you had to do was open your door and that was it. The customers would just come in. It's a much tougher gig now. So on that basis, we have got a survey to see what marketing help you would like, whether you want us to, whether you need help setting up a Facebook page or Twitter or WhatsApp groups or LinkedIn, what help you need, whether it's ongoing support where we maintain it and refresh it every week or every month, or you just want help setting up and you do it yourself. So at the end of the presentation, there'll be a QR code. You can scan that and just complete the survey. Tell us what help you want to market your business and your services and how we can try to attract these customers into your branch. Because if we can get these customers in, there is no negative impact on your remuneration at all. It is all positive because we've tracked as a major only getting 35p per item. If you get these, if you convert them to Evri in branch, you're looking at minimum 46p. So it's extra remuneration. Did I see somebody's hand up at the back? Yeah. Alan.
Yeah.
From the Scottish region. VJ came and talked to me regarding this before, and I approached several of the businesses who have got online accounts. And the one factor which most of them are actually saying, they don't trust Evri to deliver. Well, they say if the item goes missing, they have too much hassle to get compensation, and also the drivers leave the parcels. They will just leave the parcels at the business, on the doorstep, or whatever. And this is one of the main problems we have to try and convince them. Businesses are not convinced that the Evri is providing a good service.
Okay, and that's your local businesses. I know, it feels... but what I don't understand, Evri, they are by far the largest mail carrier online, for online retailers. And they've got companies like John Lewis, M&S Boots. Why are they risking their reputation if Evri is so bad? I don't understand it. How...
It was Hermes before, now it's Evri. They want growth, they're going in the market to get growth, they're throwing everything at it, And that's the reason why they're in growth. We're helping, as Chris was actually right, we're helping them to grow the business because we are actually detrimental to some of our customers. I just feel in this way, what we need to do is get the foundations correct. Once the foundations are correct and solid, then you can talk to us about this and build on Evri. I agree that Evri, as I keep saying, is an important part. Multi-carrier, an important part. But if the foundations are not correct, that's what we build on. You build your house from the foundations up. You don't start at the roof and work your way down. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to tell us something that we can make money on Evri. And unfortunately, what you're going to do is you're going to convert my customers from Royal Mail to Evri. They get a bad experience.
But these aren't your customers, really, are they?
No. Well, my customers are Evri, so they're going to convert to Evri. They get a bad experience. They're going to go back. I then try and sell them Evri. They say no, and then eventually they go to another post office down the road because I'm going to try and sell them Evri. So all I'm saying to you is, get the foundations right. I think it's loud and clear in this room today.
I think Neil is going to take this away.
I think it's absolutely foundational.
Okay, can I just quickly come one point? What Michelle was saying earlier, I visited the meeting with Evri and Pudo teams and him as well in Chesterfield, and we discussed this. And as a working postmaster, I raised the issue as well, that's collection failure, what we have already discussed, plus we have some sort of forms, like a QR code, like Royal Mail customers coming and say, okay, my parcel is not delivered or missing or no tracking, no tracing. We want some sort of, so they are agree, they are making some QR code or something like that, or whatever the solution from the online, from post office website or somewhere available, we can hand out to customer to pull a tracer form or something to find the parcels, or if it's misplaced or something, anyone human being can talk, that sort of things we needed. We don't need any automated machine, you spell wrong tracing number in a normal accent or something. So that sort of things we already recommended that's we need to be work on that as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Jim Gordon, Southwest. It's quite obvious that there's a challenge to shift our customers' perception of Evri, and it's not necessarily Postmasters. We just have to deal with that issue, and obviously we need that support to do that. But the challenge to me to looking at that is actually my Evri collection times. They come between 11 in the morning and midday. That means half of my customers are excluded from next day. I can't stand there and hand on heart sell them a next day product knowing that they're not going to get there. So Royal Mail, they're quite used to years of service with those, trying to sell that to Evri and then excluding half the day is going to be a challenge.
Yeah, that is difficult. You've got such an early collection, and it's only one collection.
Yeah.
I accept that.
Yeah.
Well, it does. But
you want to answer?
But this is something that hopefully Neil will take away and take up with Evri. He can clearly feel the sense. You know, you can read the room, can't you? It's
Yeah.
No, I think
okay.
about a fixed collection window, particularly late in the day.
Sorry, can we get
Mike, please.
Neil was saying a fixed collection point every day for Evri and DPD would be something to look at. Later in the day, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Sorry, Alan, just another
Sorry.
comment from the back here. As you can tell by my lovely accent, I represent the Northern Ireland contingent.
Yeah.
So most of this screen
I know.
doesn't apply to us because we can only sell Evri standard.
Yeah.
My comment is actually nothing to do with being Evri, Royal Mail, whatever. When I look at this slide, what's obvious to me is that nobody with any business acumen would ever put a slide like that up in a conference. Simply because if somebody comes to me with a Tract 48 at 35 pence, scan the barcode, drop it in the bag. Somebody comes to me with Evri standard for an extra 11 pence. There is no way on earth it is more profitable for me to process an Evri for an extra 11 pence than it is to process Tract 48.
Well,
so from never mind Postmasters.
Hold on. Does that not depend how many he's doing if he's a
No.
business and he's doing...
Running
I
a
don't
post
know.
office is nothing to do with being a postmaster. It's simply a question of time, input versus output, REM. Doesn't matter to me what I'm selling. To make my business profitable, there's no way I'm ever going to do that.
Right, so if you convert some of these online customers into drop and go, you only need 1 or 2 to hit your target of 35, and that relieves the pressure and the threat and you've safeguarded your pseudo
It
work.
relieves the pressure, Alan, from everybody except me, because when I'm
Well,
running my business, I have to work at a loss.
But it does safeguard your pseudo work, doesn't it? If you can get the 35 sales, you're not going to go on a watch list.
But I think
or
it's
monitoring list.
clear to everybody in this room that we can't build our business based off scanning every in and out for the rest of our life at 30 pence a parcel.
That's not scanning, that's selling it in branch.
Yeah,
isn't
no,
it?
but so we're going to do this here to actively lose money.
But right, so if I go back to my earlier point, if you're doing 200 to 300 Pudo a week, that's £60, £90 a week, £3,000 to £4,500 a year. So you're safeguarding that by selling 35 Evri, converting Royal Mail Online to Evri buying branch. I know it takes a bit longer and it's only an extra 11p, but you're safeguarding your Pudo work. And that's a decision you make as a businessman, whether you want to do that or not.
Right. Excuse me.
Hold
We need to move on with this presentation. We're taking one last question, and we would like Alan to move on with the presentation, or we're not going to let anyone else on the stage.
We've got
we'll be
15
there all
minutes
day.
left.
Okay.
Right, so my question, apart from the reliability of Evri, we got these couriers stealing our customers. So like Royal Mail did before, we got drop-and-go customers, they post hundreds of special deliveries, and the Royal Mail just contact them directly. So we're going to collect from your business. Evri did the same to our branch. We got Amazon customers drop off hundreds of Amazon products, they sell online. And then Evri just contact them every day until they switch, until they Evri collect from their business directly. They sting our business.
Okay, do you want to take that?
Especially everything.
Do you want to take it? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm really sorry. I didn't hear the question. All right, I'm really sorry. I didn't really get the question. I'm really sorry.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that question's answer. Let's finish our job. Then when the post office teams come. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let post office people, that's what we're discussing when, because they have their own presentation coming and the Q&A time. So that time they will answer you what they're doing when they're taking your customers. Because if they're approaching your business customers or personal customers, they can do that one. But that is, they will answer you, because post office, we as mail support teams, we can support you where you are struggling with your transactions, sales or anything. And we are trying to, whatever your questions, we want to be put it down in front of post office, Royal Mail, whenever we have meetings, we can put it down that questions on behalf of you. Thank you.
All right, sorry, can we get back on track?
Yeah.
Okay, we've only got 10 minutes left. Sorry, Chris. Sorry. Right, so just on your phones again, 1 kilo parcel, this is just an exercise to see what service you would offer to your customer. So it's a 1 kilo parcel, no value, they would like it delivered next day, and it contains original documents. So what service would you recommend? Hey? Oh, yeah, I can hear it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, okay, so
yeah. That's perfect, yeah.
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 So, hands up who put Evri down. Okay, so is it what?
Yeah.
So obviously, special delivery is the one, and look, this is a really important point in that we know all these services are tracked, but Track 24 just goes in the bag with all the other mail. You really want to protect your special delivery income, and I'll just show you on to the next slide why. If you look at these are the costs to the customer, and this is your remuneration. So you can see that special delivery, obviously.
Sorry.
So you can see, obviously, special delivery is your number one earner, and that's the premium service you should be offering for, obviously, cash valuables and things like original documents. Sorry, can you?
Excuse me, can we move on, please?
Right. So one last one. I've got a feeling I know the answer.
Yeah.
Do you offer DPD as a branch as an option for your customer? You can vote now. I'd appreciate it. This is going very well. I'm very pleased.
Yeah.
I can't wait for next year.
Yeah.
Okay. I shudder to think. Okay, so 32%. So if I'm reading the room correctly, DPD collections are as erratic as Evri. Is that? No?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Okay. So, if DPD collections are erratic, please raise your hand. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Okay. So, just answer this one for me. 5 kilo parcel, value of £20. What service? It contains clothing. What service would you recommend? If you can vote now, because I think this one is quite illuminating when you see the remuneration on offer. However, I'm going to rush through these next few slides because we're coming to the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so track 24 and, special delivery. Would somebody pay?
Yeah.
Okay, so, but would you think a customer's going to spend £18.55 on?
Yeah.
But so this is your remuneration. So if you look at Parcel Force, look at Parcel Force at £13.45 and you're earning £188, £12.95 for 48 and you're earning £181. And if we look at DPD, you look at the difference, that potentially should be a win for both customers and sub-postmasters. Do we agree on that? I mean, yeah, of course. But how many customers are going to pay £18.55 on a 5 kilo parcel?
Okay.
Right.
1 second.
So.
One Michelle, come on there. 1 second.
Sorry. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on, guys.
1 second. Sorry. Yeah.
Alan, you got a mic?
Alan. Yeah. Yeah.
Can I just say, those who didn't get to ask a question, we will be coming to your regional meetings, and one of us, and you can grill us as much as you like for those who didn't get to ask a question.
On. Yeah. It's,
Hello. The point we worked with DPD on these pricing, and we heard it quite in the room when everyone got a little bit vocal then. So if a customer walks through your door, 5 kilogram parcel for 20 quid, and you're only offering special delivery at 18.55, is that customer going to walk back through your door again? With special delivery 18.55. So they won't look at other options online. They won't go online and look at other options. So that's what you believe. Customers will be happy with the 18.55 and they'll come back to your business every week to pay 20 quid for a parcel worth £20. Yeah? Okay. That's my comment.
Right. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I've got 2 minutes off while Paramal takes you through your inventory.
Okay. So, when do you scan in DPD or Evri items? Yeah. Okay.
Right. So when do you scan your DPD and every parcel's in when they arrive at your branch? When they're dropped off, at what point do you scan them in?
Yeah. Okay, go on to the next slide. There's a primary, so.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
We've only got 5 minutes left, so I'm going to run through these quite quickly.
Yeah.
Right, go on.
Okay. So that's a fantastic answer. Sorry. I'm on your way. Okay. So it's saying 62% from the room saying immediately. And that's what we are looking for, the answers, because it should be as soon as possible. When you have to scan it on the same day. And the reason behind it, if you scan it on the same day, then you are not penalized. Otherwise, for them to be scan it and scan out ratio for every NDPD, every parcel, they monitor and it's better for your customer as well. So when you scan it, they get the QR code. I know the floor coming the question, sometimes the driver scanning the one and then you get it. So it's just like a sort of time. Me and Ellen are here, so we can answer your questions personally one by one if you have any questions, because we have to make a move.
Yeah.
So we saw how the customer's journey going. So how often do you check your mail inventories?
So we'll.
Yeah. So it's actually, we are thinking it takes time consuming to check every drop-off parcel, like every drop-up and pick-up parcel by the customer. So it takes time to check the inventory, but this is a very quick way to make your inventory quicker and organize your branch. So if you go on pick-up, drop-up, go driver pick-up, and then select, like on this instance, we take every, and you can, this is 10 items, but if you check every day morning, it's only showing the expired parcels of the day. So if it's something expired yesterday, you can select that parcel, scan it, and make ready for driver pickup. And that's where it's quicker to finish, and you maintain your inventory very well. Yeah.
Once you scan it out to the driver, that triggers your payment, your remuneration.
Yeah. So when you scan it and when you scan out for driver, it's considered you finish your job and you get paid for that. Yeah. Okay.
We're wrapping up now, so I just want to show you this last slide. This is a handout with all the mail carriers all down here. We've got it for large letters, small parcels and medium parcels, and you can see what it means, cost to customers with all the add-ons, enhanced compensation, Saturday delivery, and what the remuneration is for you. And you can compare that against DPD, Evri and Royal Mail, and on the medium parcels, Parcel Force are up there. So we've got those available. We've got those here as hard copies, and we've also got them as a QR code that you can download, and you can take these with you, so you can have a proper comparison of all the mail carrier services and what it means to customers and what it means to you for remuneration. Right, this has been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I've
Thank you.
enjoyed it very much.
Thank you very much.
They said, just do the presentation, it's easy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
But
you
listen,
very much.
it's really important that Neil has got to feel the passion and the depth of how people feel about Evri and DPD. So it's really good that he can take this away and do something about it. But thank you very much for your time, conference. I
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
it.
Thank you very much for your support. Thank you.
A huge thanks to Alan. I think it's a challenge. They've taken everything on board, and most of the concerns that you've raised when we had the meeting with Evri 2 weeks ago, they were all raised, and honestly, we really appreciate the input today. We're going to break for a 30-minute break. Can I please ask, when you come back, you do switch your, put your mobiles and any electronic devices on silent, because in the last session, quite a few went off. Enjoy your little break. The staff are still here, and then I'll give you a call in 30 minutes.